Well, if you had just one piece of advice, so many good ones in our talk, but just one piece of advice for the Gen Z leader or the millennial leader who's coming up through the ranks, and you could give them one piece of advice that might shorten their trails, what would that be?
Yeah, well, let me start by saying I'm probably the biggest fan of the millennials and the Gen Z that you'll ever meet. And that surprises a lot of people. I know that there is this narrative out there that the millennials and the Gen Zs are these entitled, soft little snowflakes. Well, I will tell you, then you've never seen them in a firefight in Afghanistan, or you've never seen them trying to work their way through school in one of the University of Texas schools that I have. This is a remarkable generation of men and women. In many ways, I think better than the baby boomers. They are entrepreneurial. They are questioning. They are very loyal to their friends in a way that I haven't seen in a while. And they are prepared to mobilize when they feel some injustices out there. You may not agree with them, but I think you have to give them credit for being able to mobilize. I look at the horrendous shooting at Parkland and how those kids came together and marched on D.C. and marched on Tallahassee. Whether you agree with the politics of that or not, you can't help but, I think, be inspired by these kids coming together and doing things that I'm not sure my generation would have done. So I'm a huge fan of the millennials. But what I would tell all the millennial leaders is, as I would tell, frankly, any leader. Leadership, I think, is fungible across generations. It's fungible across corporations and militaries and academia. Leadership is leadership. But a good leader listens. A good leader recognizes that they don't have all the answers. The first thing I was taught as a young ensign was go find the Master Chief Petty Officer of the command and sit down with him and find out what he has to say. So the Master Chief Petty Officer of the command was the senior enlisted guy at a SEAL team. And, I'm a young ensign. Listen to what the Master Chief has to say. And I took that advice at every command I went to at every level. This is about finding out what the men and women that work for you think. Listen to what they have to say. Be humble enough to understand that you don't have all the answers. Recognize that as a leader, if you ever think it's about you, if it's about your success, if it's about your ego, you're probably not going to be a very good leader. It's about doing the mission, getting the mission done, and giving the troops the resources to make that happen. And the only way you find out how to do it best is to listen to the rank and file or listen to somebody that can give you the best advice on that. So it's about listening.